What's up, you guys? We are back for Do That But Better. I am Eric, and here with what can I even say about you today?
You
Brother?
what?
My brother?
You just called yourself Eric. I'm
I,
Eric.
oh, crap. Did I screw
See,
that up?
that's the envy coming out right there.
Dang it. All right. All right. Well, then
I'm Eric. He's Zach.
let's play it off today.
Yep.
I'll be Eric today. Well, that's pretty brutal. Um, all right. And last week, Eric, we talked about being like winning outside of the box. So outside of the gym, what can you do? But today we're going to dive into what is the best way to be a great member. So how are we going to be the best inside the box? And Eric, I've only been part of two CrossFit gyms. So I was at one for maybe a month or so, and then opened my own. And
Which
so
one were
I
you at?
I was at CrossFit Dynami.
Oh,
It's
I
actually
didn't even
it's
know
yeah, it's not around anymore. So actually I think the family got me a membership for my birthday or something like that when I was just getting into it.
that. Yeah, maybe.
And but yeah, so beyond that, I've only been here except for being a drop-in and going into other gyms or other events at gyms and things like that.
Hmm.
But you have been part of multiple different CrossFit gyms. And so, give me a little take on um, just a couple things that maybe you have seen that, like, or even some great members that you can think of.
I feel like great members, you know them when you see them. Like as soon
Mm,
as you walk in,
yeah.
you can tell who who's like the mayor of the of the gym, right?
Hmm.
And it might just be like for that class because different classes have different cultures,
Oh
really,
yeah.
essentially. Um, and you get a feel for it right away, and you can see like, okay, these people, know what they're doing.
Hmm.
They're paying attention and follow the instructions, and they know where stuff is, and they know what to do when they're done, and they help you, right?
Right.
Or like the person who just introduces themselves and lets you know where stuff is and what to do,
Hmm.
because some places do the warm up all together, some people it's on the board and you just do it on your own and then everybody
Right.
gets together. There's so many different moving pieces that I feel like the best members, right away, like, oh, they're helping you out, or they're helping out new people, or they're encouraging people, like it's very noticeable. And then you notice the other side too, of like the person who just grabs their bar and is in the corner and is kind of doing the same workout, but is also just changing stuff to whatever they want to do. Are they actually
Yeah.
in the class, or are they on their own, or like what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. And really, I mean, when you even think about school, you get that same kind of vibe. And because I think that being a good member, it um, it it really sets an energy
Hmm.
for like the way that you act, whether good, bad, indifferent. It's going to either bring the energy up or bring the energy down. And
Totally.
and yeah, that is really huge. And I think that when people often think about a good member at a CrossFit gym, they think of things that they see on YouTube. They see shirts off, six packs, and they're doing muscle ups and they're lifting heavy weight and they're grunting and sweating and grabbing a protein bar afterwards, and they have their food in a Tupperware and all this kind of stuff. But really, um, that is like actually you could be a horrible member and
Totally.
have all those things.
I've
And
and I mean I've coached those people where like there was one box I was helping just for a month while they were transitioning owners.
Hmm.
And yeah, the one guy, I mean, he's the strongest guy in the gym, but like you're talking to him between sets and he's doing this, like trying to walk away from you while you're talking to him. And like you just know he's thinking, I don't need your help. I don't need your coaching. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't last.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, so a CrossFit gym is totally different than a regular Lifetime or Cardinal Fitness or 24-hour, in the fact that we are a group, and it it's really like, what would make you a great team member? If you were playing basketball, if you were playing soccer or any team sport, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are the best player,
Hmm.
and it has everything to do about how you conduct yourself in everything else that you do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that there are great members that are great athletes, and there are great athletes that are absolutely horrible parts of the team.
Yep.
And 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 neither of them has anything to do with either, right? So you can be fantastic and never have touched a barbell or done a pull up or done a push up, and you can also and be a fantastic um, part of the group, and the opposite is true too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like you were saying, like that vibe and that energy, it's really like how do you do the things that you're doing and like how do you interact with the people around you?
Mhm.
That's going to determine how great of a community member you are.
Mhm. So let's get into a little bit um, of what a a great member looks like. All right. And so for me, I think that there's three things. All right. So number one is that they're fun. All right. I feel that they need to be excited to learn, and they're willing to take action getting to their goals. All right. And so I'm going to start with taking action. All right. When it comes to joining a gym, most people have some type of goal going into it. There are people that, yes, you just like to work out, and throughout different life cycles of your exercise, I think that your goals change, and sometimes it's, I've had multiple members who have come in, and when we sat down and talked about their goals, they're like, uh, I want to meet people, right? It had nothing to do with fitness in particular, but they're like, um, the one person said, I'm not very social, and I want to be somewhere where there's like people, and it's like, all right, there you go. And but I think that, when you're coming in, you've got your goal, and the whole idea of a CrossFit gym is to have a group learning experience. And that could be just a group social learning experience, like, hey, how
Hmm.
do I interact with other people?
Yeah.
It could be, I need to learn how to lose weight. I want to get stronger. I want to I want to be more functional in life. I want to train for a sport or just my outside activities. And all those things, uh, that's what we're here for, and that's why you have a coach. And keeping that in mind will help bring up that energy in the
Hmm.
gym.
Yeah. Well, and having those goals, like everyone's got a goal, whether or not they write it down or articulate it, it's like you're thinking in your head, man, I wish I could do a pull up. Right?
Mhm.
And if you don't take that action, it's just going to turn into frustration
Right.
because, man, I still can't do a pull up. Well, you haven't done anything to try to do a pull up. how are you working on it? And I think that is just a huge attribute. Uh, if a member, if they have the goals and they are, asking the coach, hey, how can I get better at this? And then actually doing it, like showing up a few minutes early, or showing up a few minutes, or staying a few minutes later to work on this thing, or doing stuff at home, like whatever it is, putting in the actual time to achieve those goals makes a huge difference. Like,
Mhm.
not just for your performance, but just for you and the culture of the gym, for people to be like, oh, they're actually achieving that goal. They're actually putting in the work. I'm going to do that too, right? Like when someone else sees you get your pull up, they're going to be like, oh, you can do that. Maybe I
Mhm.
can do that too. And so again, like that's just contributing to the culture of the gym by actually taking that action.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I look back at just members that we have, or had, the the number of people who really got those things that were so far out of, um, their comfort zone, or even out of their scope at the time when they walked in, and it was like they came in and they said, "I'm ready to do this."
Hmm.
And lots of times we say that we're ready, like, man, I really want this, and it's like, all right, here, try this. And I'll tell you, I feel like this happens the most with nutrition. And you know people go, all right, I want to lose weight, I'm going to go to the gym. And we've talked about this multiple times, that
Hmm.
exercise is going to get you stronger, faster, more endurance, things like that. But if I'm eating the same way that I was when I walked in, my body composition is not going to change very much. And so you go, all right, hey, this is going to be our step to, to changing our body composition. And they go, okay. And you're like, all right, what do you eat right now? And it's like, I eat a ham sandwich for lunch. I eat, this for dinner, blah blah blah. And then you come back in 2 weeks, and it's like, all right, what do you eat? And it's like, I eat a
Hmm.
ham sandwich. It's like nothing changed, right? And it's like, well, like this is sort of, I get this all the time, and this is from adults. Um, you know, the people that I live with, whether it's my mom or my roommate or whatever, this is what they make. And it's like, you are an adult. Everyone here that come, you are an adult, and you're blaming it on somebody else. And it's like, hey, you need to take that action. And you know what? Be okay with failing.
Hmm.
And so, but take that action, and start working towards your goals, as opposed to just hoping that they're going to come about.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, like if you don't, then you just have wishes that are unfulfilled and it's frustrating. And
Hmm.
then you have a gym full of people who are just frustrated because you're not seeing the results that you actually want to see. You're probably
Hmm.
getting results, but just not the exact ones that you're looking for.
Yeah, and actually, if you think about it, you'll see these. So the people that go and take action, they're like, "Hey, I want to run a 5K," and they go and sign up, right? And they go, "Hey, you want to do this 5K with me?" And now all of a sudden, everyone's doing it, right?
Hmm.
And actually, right now, it seems like a bunch of people here have started climbing, and just doing something outside of the gym, but doing something a little bit scary. And you're like, hey, I want to go apply my fitness. And it's like,
Hmm.
well, try this. Good, got it. We got people doing races. We got just all kinds of little things like that, and that energy is contagious, and people start signing up for other things, and now they're getting closer to their goals because they're living an active life. It's not just like this thing that I had to do. And I think that lots of times people think that that is what exercise is. It's like, no, I have to do it. It's like, no, go have fun doing it, and
Yep.
and let it change your outside activities because you like to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And actually,
100%.
I think that brings us right into, like, being excited to learn. And we talked about this a second ago, just failing, going out and finding something that you're going to fail at. That's usually the thing that you need the most work on, because obviously you're not just going to go win. And whether it's nutrition, exercise, whatever, if it's in the gym, it's like, all right, there are times where you're going to push yourself. We got the CrossFit Open right now, or not right now, but in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a fun time. And most people get really scared to do this because they're like, what if I can't do it? And there's probably going to be something in there where you either really struggle, or you're going to be like, nope, I cannot do this. I might have to, and there's been multiple workouts where it's like, all right, the workout is now over for me because I don't have this muscle up, or,
Starting with muscle ups. Yep.
yep. Oh, that was so huge. The year that because prior to this, I forgot what year that was, like maybe 18, 19, I don't know, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
But prior to that, you had high skilled stuff, but they put it at the end of the workout. So it was like, all right, you got all the way to here, and now here's the dividing line of elite. And then the one year they started the workout with muscle ups, and everyone went, what am I going to do? But because they had to fail, people came out, and now all of a sudden they got it. And this is what happens with the CrossFit Open is, when they actually, when they said the scaled version is pull-ups, people went, what the crap? And we got so many people that were getting that got pull-ups because there was no other choice. It was like, do
Yep.
it or not. And guess what? Some people didn't. And that was okay too. But guess what? That next year, it's like, hey, now I got it. And I feel like, actually, I just posted about this today, that going into things and doing imperfect reps is actually beneficial. We're starting to learn what is not working, and then we can find out what works. But the thing is that we have to be consciously going into it like we're learning. So not
Mm-hmm.
just doing it. So I like to talk, like, with newer members, like when we go over the snatch and the clean, which is very complex movements, and like to talk about how I want you to fail, right? We're not going to put the intensity high right now. What we're going to do is I want you to do it. And as soon as you do it, I can go, here's where you need to work, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't ever get there, and if you don't take feedback, then you won't get better. If you just keep doing a crappy rep, it's like, all right, you're just going to do crappy reps.
Yep.
And this is like the Greg Glassman used to talk about the curse of strength, right? So you might
Yep.
have somebody who is really good at something. Say that they could snatch 225, and they're like, oh man, I can snatch the most in the gym, and they're doing it poorly, but they're really freaking strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's great, but you're never going to get to 250 with a snatch like that.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, all right, you're stronger than everybody here, and you're not going to get better.
Yep. It kind of reminds me of to use a trend right now is Wordle. Have you
Okay.
seen this going all
I've
over the
seen
place?
it, but I scroll right past it. I'm like,
So
I don't want this
I
crap.
just looked at it for the first time yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to guess the word,
Mm-hmm.
but like you start with just 5 blank squares, and you just have to put something in,
Okay.
and it's like, are any of the letters right? Maybe not. Okay, well now I know which letters not to use.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have one letter that's in the word, but it's in the wrong place. And it's like, okay, now I can adjust. And
Yeah.
you've got 6 tries, and it's crazy that you can do it in 6 tries, starting from a complete random guess, and then you
Wow.
figure it out. And it is totally the same thing. Where like you've just got to go in and do it, and be like, I just have to make something up right now, and then I can correct from there and get better and better.
I love that. And man, now I sort of want to try that. But that might that might consume all my time. I love
Well,
the word
there's
puzzle.
only one a day.
Oh, well,
So there
there
you
you
go.
go. Well, I'm still not doing it.
Yep.
I'm gonna make up my
But
own.
I do think the idea of excited to learn
Mhm.
is important, because you could be willing to learn and begrudgingly accept coaching, but like being excited to go in and just like blow it and be able to laugh and be like, "Whoa, that was terrible. Now what do I do?"
Right.
Like that's very different.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how many times with teaching things, like teaching new movements to people and things like that, um, they literally freeze up and go, I don't know how to do that. And it's like, just do this. And they're like, I don't know how. And it's like, yeah, throw yourself upside down. Let's do it. And we're gonna fix it. Um, obviously you're not gonna put it into intensity until
Hmm.
until you're ready. But even when you talk about intensity, there's times where I will tell a member, you're gonna do this workout with these weights. And now our goal is to keep it in, let's say, 12 to 15 minutes. But I'm going to give you as much time as you want because you need to get used to using this weight, right?
Hmm.
Or you need to get used to doing pull ups in a workout. Maybe you've got five and you can only do them in singles, in a
Yeah.
workout. And it's like, guess what? Today you're going to do just singles. And it's not going to look like everybody else, right? So we might tell them that I want you to get five in a row every time, and but we're letting them fail that time because now you learn a little bit about yourself. And
Yeah.
like I said, I think that's what the CrossFit Open really does really well for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And like being excited to learn, like in that situation, if you've been working on pull ups and now this workout comes up with however many pull ups, do you say, oh, goodness?
Hmm.
Or are you like, oh, nice. Now I can try it out. Now I'm going to find out where I'm at. Like,
Right.
right. And it's just the way that you're approaching it and thinking about those opportunities
Hmm.
that's going to change your demeanor and affect the demeanor of everyone around you, right? Because if people see you thinking and talking that way about those workouts and these situations, they're going to start to do the same thing.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I think that even just vocab, the way that we talk about stuff, it is super important because that is it's changing the vibe in the gym every time.
Hmm.
And if you just come in and, oh, this is gonna suck, actually I correct people often. And I love the idea of saying, hey, we're gonna do this hard thing. And we talk about this all the time that we do hard things.
Hmm.
Um, and I go back and forth on, hey, this is gonna suck because um, it, if it sucks, then I don't want to do it. But if it is really difficult, if it is hard,
Hmm.
if it's challenging, all those things, let's do this. But um, it doesn't have to be fun to be fun. And so
Right. Like this is going to be hard and a lot of fun.
yes. And even just saying like the way that you did that, so you did it and you smiled while saying it. That is
Totally.
totally different than going, this is gonna suck. I don't want to be around you, right? If you bring that energy, it's like, man, I'm gonna go work out somewhere else because
Hmm.
I enjoy what I'm doing, and when you enjoy the challenge, I think that it's going to be more beneficial to you.
Yeah. Even, man, I've heard coaches going through like warm ups and stuff and being like, all right, now we're going to do this super annoying one. I'm like, well, now it's super annoying. No one wants to do this thing that you programmed.
Right, dude. I'll tell you what, man. Uh, if we had a coach do that, we would have to have a long talk because,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you should, and there are things that are probably less fun, but also beneficial. And you go, all right, this is going to be my fun thing, even though it's maybe not the funnest thing to teach or
Mm.
to, I don't know, even to do. But to be honest, I feel like I have a really bad gauge with that because I really like things that, like I love Turkish get ups and,
Yep.
stuff like that. To be honest, a lot of the things that are slightly more fun for people. So I'm looking around the gym. Like, so even muscle ups. So I think that originally it was like, oh, I want to do muscle ups. And I'm like, I don't want to do muscle ups. Like, there, there's so many other things that I would rather do
Hmm.
than muscle ups and even like handstand push ups. It's like I want to snatch, and
Yep. Or
that's about it.
I'll lift the keg.
Yeah, and then Turkish get ups. Let's go push a sled. I mean, to be honest, like that can be super boring to teach, but there's something really great about it. And really, I think that it actually you learn a lot about yourself in things like that
Hmm.
because there is so much feedback. It's like it's not necessarily super fast. If you're pushing a heavy sled, it's like it hurt you start to feel everything. And even like things like yoke carries, I think that you learn a lot about yourself. There's so much pressure on you, especially if you're doing it really heavy, that you start like going, what is not tight? Because I need it to be tighter. And you start like you squeeze your butt different. You push your belly out. You start I honestly feel like I can feel my spine, right? And I have to get it into the right spot so that
Hmm.
I don't have a few 100 pounds smashing me in a weird direction. And sometimes if we're moving too fast, which you do with a muscle up or something like that, you don't get enough feedback. And so even like squatting really fast, uh, where's the pressure on your foot?
Hmm.
And so now like taking that slow approach to each movement, and all of a sudden you're learning so much every time. And even if you're really good at it, now all of a sudden you're finding that minutia that's really going to help you get to the next level.
Hmm. Yeah, that's being excited to learn.
Yeah. So, and um, our third criteria for a great member is that you're fun. And I'll tell you what, just like over the years, I started realizing I was like, that's who I want to work with, right? And it's like, why would I not want this place? The place that I'm going to spend the most time at, um, and the thing that is getting us to our goals, right? Because getting to your goals is it can be mundane. You're doing the same things over and over, and lots of times people thinking about going to the gym are like, "Oh man, I'm doing 3 sets of 10 again," and it's like, dude, we found a much better way, and now we get that team atmosphere, and it's really freaking fun.
Hmm.
And so when you come in, it's like, all right, if I can put a smile on my face and go, hey, this might be a little bit painful, uh, right? I'm gonna put myself to the test today, but that's what I wanted, and uh, yeah, it just brings a happier environment the whole time.
Yep. I'm gonna do it with some sweet tunes and some cool friends.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And one big thing when when we are working towards our goals is making sure that we're celebrating our wins, right? And using that joy of, hey, I just hit this, um, but letting other people know that it is really fun to me when I see somebody. getting their first pull up. They put 5 more pounds on their bench press or their squat or whatever the heck it is. And um, sometimes for ourselves,
Hmm.
we sort of go, oh, I don't know, somebody else did better and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But um, you know, making sure that we are noticing other people doing good. And I think that that is one thing that is huge because when we see somebody else and we get to celebrate them, hey, like actually, so when we get a PR, you ring the bell and you got two claps of Ric Flair. So everybody stops, woo! And so we've been working on it so that we can do it in unison. And but the thing is that when you see other people doing that, and when I get to take pleasure in you uh, being better, we're gonna get
Hmm.
better, right? If I can make you better as a athlete, as a member in the gym, I actually get better as a coach, and I feel that I get better as an athlete, right?
Hmm.
So I might have learned something from the way that you did this, whether it was like you moved better, and it's like, oh, you know what? Um, like they really did this. They really opened their hip well, right? They jumped really freaking hard. um, they they didn't stop pulling, you know. And I see that on pull-ups all the time. People go like this. Ah. It's like you stopped pulling, and sometimes you just need to try harder. And all of a sudden I go, oh, I need to try harder, and now all of a sudden I can take that into my lifts. And so
Hmm.
they say a rising tide raises all ships. So if somebody else is getting better in this gym, we're all getting better. Because whether I'm watching their habits and I'm learning from their habits, or if I saw what is capable of humans, right? And so now I go, oh, all right, that is possible. It's like breaking the 4 minute mile.
Hmm.
Speaking of, I just saw some guy uh, did a 350 mile.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yep. But that's not even the record. Because I saw that too and I looked it up. The record is, I think, 343.
What in the world? Dude, and they don't even look like they're going that fast. Like
I
they
know. I'm
look
like,
so
how much
relaxed.
faster can you run?
Yeah,
Man.
it's that's absolutely amazing. Well,
Anyway.
back to fun. Back to fun. Because running a 4 minute mile does not sound fun to me. But yeah. So yeah, be fun and have fun. If
Yep.
you are coming in and like you were talking about, if you're that person that's hiding in the corner, we are here to be part of a group. And like I said, we're here to rise the tide. And if we're not, now obviously, yeah, some people are a little bit more shy and things like that. So the way that this is portrayed is going to be different for everybody. So you don't have to
Hmm.
be there's going to be the jokester, there's going to be the just happy go lucky, whatever. But you know what? High fives and great job, and we'll see you later. These are the
Yep.
things that are great. Even if you are a person that, hey, I'm coming in for a workout, and maybe I'm not hanging out after the workout. Maybe I'm not calling you like to hang out on the weekend. It's totally all right. But I think that there's something about group suffering, and it brings you together, and it really pushes you. I feel like, so even at the firehouse, people always talked about it's a brotherhood and this and that, and we do all this stuff. There was plenty of people that I wasn't going to hang out with after work, but
Hmm.
you get there, you've got a job to do, and especially when you are going to a fire, all that goes away, right? And we're here to get a job done, and the better that we each do, the better everything goes.
Hmm.
And um, and then guess what? You high five each other, and then you might turn around and see you next day. You know, that's it. And but I'll tell you what, it's so much better than if you have the person who is like they're off in their own corner most of the day and doing their thing.
Hmm.
You know, we're all doing this together, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, being a member of the community,
Hmm.
a positive contributing member of the community. Like
Absolutely.
that's all these things are.
Yep. Yeah. And now, well, so a great member is fun. They're excited to learn, and they're willing to take action getting to their goals. So, what would be a bad member?
The opposite of that.
That is it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, negative, right? So, we've all seen that person that comes in and, oh man, this is gonna
We've all.
suck. What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Um, people who are making excuses, like I can't do that, or like I don't know, just actually, I recently talked to somebody the other day, and um, they they were talking about how they're like, man. So actually, the whole conversation came up. We were talking about scaling things and all that kind of stuff, and just our thoughts about scaling. And they were like, I noticed that I almost feel that CrossFit is for the person who is really working on these things. Like, so, hey, I'm doing a jumping pull up. I'm not doing a pull up. I'm
Hmm.
right. Um, and I really think that they're almost right. Like as opposed to that elite athlete, right?
Hmm.
Because especially that elite athlete has to get more specialized. They have to practice their sport, right?
Hmm.
And it's like if you are looking for um, being generally good at everything, right? You're going to find those things that you are not good at, and you're really going to push them, right?
Yeah.
And um, and they said that, yeah, I feel like this is more for me. And um, they said that when they first started, they would look at what the workout was and go handstand push-ups, handstand walking, rope climbs. There was all these things that are like, I can't do that. And they realized that they no longer say that. They say, I wonder how they're going to get me to do that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, because that is the exact opposite of making the excuses. And
Yep.
and you're excited to learn. You're like, I'm going to learn how to do this thing that I don't know how to do yet.
Hmm.
And really just changing that little bit of a mindset or vocab, it changed not only your perception, but that's going to change the vibe in the gym too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, especially if we said that a great member is excited to learn, a terrible member is unwilling to learn. And if you think about this presents itself in multiple ways. But um, if if you are continuously doing a movement and you're like, oh, like I do it better this way,
Yep.
and somebody
Or
keeps
that's just
telling,
how I do it.
that's just how I do it, right? This is huge. And and again, that's that curse of strength, or um, what is it called? Unconscious competence, right? Where
Hmm.
you are doing something pretty darn well, and you don't necessarily know why, right? And that means that you're not going to get better. So
Yep.
again, that's great. If you want to be the best at this movement right now, or because of the people that you're around, it's like being a big fish in a small pond. It's like
Yep.
that's great, but taking that step back and going, all right, I do this really well, or I'm getting like maybe I'm rowing. and I can get great times like this, right? Especially in a 500 meter, right? But all right, how does that look in a 5K? Like,
Yeah.
do am I still able to do that?
Right.
And
Or are you able to stand up straight afterwards?
right, yeah. And
Yeah.
so finding those little things where, all right, I'm doing this really well, but can I do it better?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like so much of that comes down to ego,
Hmm.
which, like, if you are holding on to your ego, you are not going to have fun. You are not going to be excited to learn. And you are going to make excuses, right? Well, I do it this way because whatever. I had this injury, so that's just how I have to do it. Like,
Hmm.
well, are you working on some PT stuff? Are you working on your mobility? What are you doing to improve that? Because, like, you don't just have to settle for whatever you have. Like, we can improve. But it's like, nope, this is how I am. Like, okay. Because your coach sees things that you don't.
Right.
And if your coach doesn't, then they aren't a coach. Then it sounds like you just want a cheerleader then, right? Someone to tell you, yep, you're right. Just do it the way you're doing it.
Yep.
And that is not fun. You're not going to improve, right? And you're always going to have excuses for why you haven't gotten better.
I find myself doing this all the time in bowling. So I might bowl like once a year. I probably haven't bowled in a while now, but uh, so all the best bowlers put a hook on the ball. I refuse to learn the hook because I play so little that I want to get the best score right now. And I know that the best score is with my straight ball, and and I'm gonna get my, I don't know, whatever score I get. But because I can break 200 sometime. I get
Mhm.
into that thing, but I could be better. And number one, I could practice, but but like I even tell people, like, so I was talking to somebody, like we used to bowl semi often when we were at the firehouse, and they're like, why don't you learn the hook? And I'm like, I want to win this one, and I'm not willing to have a lower score today to have one tomorrow, right?
Yep.
And we can do that in the gym all the time. And
Right. Or, oh yeah, well, I could beat them, but they have extra time, so they hang out longer and do extra stuff. Like, you could do extra stuff, right?
I'll tell you what, that is one thing that irks me the most, is when people say I could, or even in a workout, you go, I could have done better. And it's like, if I could have done better, then I would have, right? If I could do this thing, then I would. And that is an excuse. And so now I could go into this going, you know what? I think that I could have made these transition times better. I think that instead of doing 10, um, 10, 10 reps unbroken, I should have done 5 and 5.
Hmm.
And so now it's that learning gap, as opposed to, um, like, I just have this ability. It's like, yeah, I could
Right.
have gamed this a little bit better.
Right.
But
Like analyzing how you can improve versus making an excuse
yes,
of why you didn't do better.
yep, yeah. I'll tell you what, nobody knows when you do a workout, especially, we only retest things so often. And so there could have been a million things that affected how and
Hmm.
why you did this. And so you going, well, I could have done better, but I did this. It's like, I thought you were giving your all, right? I thought that this was effort, right? And sometimes our effort doesn't stack up to what we thought it was going to be, and that's totally okay. And
Hmm.
so having that, hey, like, be a duck, just let it roll off your back, and things are going to come up. We're not professional athletes, and everything, like, all of our progress is not linear. And so we might not have been able to do it. We might get it the next time. And now we have that feedback of, hey, this is what happened when I did this, and now we get to retest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if a scientist does an experiment, they don't necessarily know what is going to work. Like, so if their experiment fails, but they know that they can try this new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Just like Wordle.
there you go, just like Wordle. just to bring it all back. Well, I think that we pretty much nailed that down.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, if you want to be a terrible member at a gym, whatever gym you're at, you can be negative, you can make excuses, and unwilling to learn. But if you want to make your experience great, and if you want to make others' experience great, we can find ways to be fun, excited to learn, and willing to take action, get into your goals.
That's
What do you
it.
think? That's it?
Yep.
All right. That's another Do That But Better. You guys, we will see you next week. Eric, I will talk to you soon. Have a good
All
one.
right. See ya.